Okay, so I'm here in Sault Ste. Marie next to the St. Marie River and Rapids. I've just finished my first week of biking in Ontario. I was really looking forward to getting back to my home province, crossing out of the prairies, until I actually got here. And I saw the roads and especially experienced some of the drivers. And it's been by far the worst drivers I've had almost anywhere in the world, certainly the worst I've had on this trip. The number of close calls I had in a day here is greater than the number I've had for the whole rest of the trip together. I'm kind of ashamed to be from Ontario. Really glad I've moved somewhere else, sort of good riddance to bad drivers. And I feel really guilty and ashamed that I've invited Clara to join me from Argentina for this part of the trip, which has been by far the worst, just because of the drivers. So in terms of where I actually went, I guess it's worth mentioning the brief crossover for 40 kilometers or so in Minnesota. I regret doing that largely because of the border guards and deciding to search all of my bags. Take like 2 hours out of my day when I was hoping to go 200 kilometers and sort of needed to make the most of daylight. And they searched me for nothing, and lo and behold, I have a whole bunch of unidentified powders on me. So they keep asking if I'm into drugs, if I'm doing cocaine, what I'm bringing into the country. Turns out, back in Chaplin Lake in Saskatchewan, they were giving these little sample bags of sodium sulfate. So I had one in my pocket that I forgot when I did laundry in Burton at his mother's house. And so they find this bag in my pocket with the remnants of a white powder, and I say, oh, yeah, that's from this lake in Saskatchewan. It's full of sodium sulfate, it looks like snow. And they think I'm crazy making this stuff up. They search my stuff. They find my glow-in-the-dark powders, and I'm trying to explain that I'm a science teacher and it's for these demos. They don't really like my glow-in-the-dark powders. And I've also got baby powder, which instead of having a whole big bottle of it, I put into this like little pill bottle. And so a pill bottle full of baby powder, they're wondering what's up with that. Big hassle, all of that to get to Rainy River, the far end of Yonge Street. Because in Toronto by the lake, they have these kilometer markers to all the towns along the way, including Rainy River, 1,832 kilometers down the road on the Minnesota border. Turns out it's not really the kind of place that's worth being. And most of Highway 11 to Thunder Bay there are not really that interesting. But it was nice to go back to Quetico, camped by French Lake, had a nice night there. Had a great time in Thunder Bay, catching up with my friend Nick from high school. Nick, thanks for having me. Thanks for the dried fruit, the pancakes, blueberries, everything. It was awesome. Then set out along the North Shore of Lake Superior, which, little known fact, actually has more ups and downs than getting from the Okanagan across the Rockies to Calgary. So it wasn't without its ups and downs and its fair share of headwinds, which made it a little bit difficult getting here to Sault Ste. Marie in time. Fairly uneventful. Swam in Lake Superior twice. Was surprised how warm it was, although everyone says if you get into like a big shallow bay, it gets nice and warm, which, yeah, even into September, nice and warm, despite the temperatures being freezing cold most of the day. Saw Winnie the Pooh in White River, saw the Wawa goose, took some pictures for Nick, amazing goose. It's worth the trip to Wawa just for the goose. It's up there with the CN Tower in terms of like best monuments in the world. And yeah, I saw some pretty scenery. So enjoy the pictures and time-lapse videos.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait, when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain, in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you." 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know ya." The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go, as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered.